Welcome back to another episode of Mediocre Mondays
Hmm.
with OC Fan TV.
Then what's the word for Saturdays?
Sadness Saturdays? I don't know. It's got to be something.
The summertime sadness has already started.
It really has, if we're being honest. It started when the season started this year.
Yeah. Well, Cannata, not able to be in the studio. How's it going though?
It's going all right. I forgot what it was like to figure out that you lost the match doing fan reacts. So that was a fun feeling again. I was talking to like the second person in and I was like, oh, like we didn't draw because I knew they equalized at one point. But like I was like, oh, we didn't draw. We actually lost. So
Brother, at the
that
Bears
was
game. Sorry, no, you were still talking.
Just say it was just a fun experience doing that again.
Yeah. You gotta learn to listen to the crowd and the cues that you take from, oh, it was a shot on target saved, went out of bounds, or it's a goal, or we concede and it gets really quiet. So I'm sure there was a lot of quietness when you were out there doing fan reacts.
Yeah, well, we got set up like I guess right after we conceded because people all just started walking out. So I probably wasn't listening to the crowd at that moment, but there was a lot of like, clapping and cheering because we won possession back and we moved up the field a little bit and then lost possession again.
We move up the field?
Sometimes from like the back 18 to maybe midway, and then we just kind of give the ball back.
Oh, you just ping a long ball, hope Duncan gets there. Fuck it, Duncan's got to be down there somewhere. Call this Tua and Tyreek, but it's Faku and Dunk.
I thought you were talking about Robin and Dunk.
That's
exactly what it felt like watching the game on Saturday.
You think they have a line for that on BetOnline? Like number of long balls received, over, under for Duncan?
I was going to say that, or Duncan anytime goal scorer at this point is probably close to even.
Yeah, if you want to make money and you're not an Orlando City fan, Duncan anytime goal scorer is a cheat code.
Yeah, it really is. And you can find those odds on BetOnline.
The big game is finally here. BetOnline is your number one source for playoff football odds, stats, trends, and lines. With everything from point spreads to hundreds of player performance props, now you can access the world's best wagering information anytime from desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
I'm really hoping nobody took Luis Muriel anytime goal scorer because at this point, he's got to be plus 3,500, I'm saying.
One goal this season is probably like a great money line for him right now.
Over under half of a goal.
Plus 5,000.
Oh, I feel like we've hashed that over a good amount of times. But at this point, I don't really know what much or how much more there is to say about his situation here. But the one guy that does keep delivering for us, even though we might not capitalize off of it, is Duncan McGuire.
We've all been, calling for him to be in our 11s last week. I feel like we all criticized Oscar maybe even 2 weeks ago for leaving Duncan out of the 11 and playing Muriel. Just it doesn't work. Every time Duncan's in there, he's dangerous. Like you said, he creates a scoring opportunity or actually finds the back of the net. I mean, he's the only person this year with 4 goals. The rest of our team is 1.
It's a scary thought to think about Duncan actually being at Ewood Park in Blackburn right now and us just being left with Luis Muriel. I didn't say left. I said left. I don't know what would be going on, where we would be in this scenario without Duncan.
I'll tell you right now, we'd be bottom of the table because there is no one on that pitch right now aside from Robin and Duncan that look like they give 2 craps about anything. Like when we go down a goal, when we have missed opportunities or whatnot, Duncan and Robin are the only 2 that seem to care.
Yeah, they bring basically 85% of the passion and actual like drive to want to win matches. And then the rest of the squad, I think Rodrigo cares. I think Caesar cares, maybe Wielder. But then the rest of it's just kind of like, wow, these guys are out there on the pitch wearing this shirt, but there's no respect brought with it. Because if there was, they would be showing more fight, putting more effort in. We would be getting the results that we deserve as the fans that have gotten. Obviously, we haven't gotten the club to where it is by ourselves, but the fans are a big reason as to why this is even a franchise in the league. And if you don't want to respect that, sorry, but you don't belong wearing the shirt.
No, yeah,
Yes.
I 100% agree with you. I was gonna say, fuck.
Way to capitalize off that.
Never mind.
Well
Sorry,
done.
Cannata, you go like collect my thoughts.
I was just gonna say that was a talking point on Fan Reacts on Saturday after the game. Obviously, when we do that, we leave early, so we don't get to be over there. But a couple of people brought it up that there was only 3 people to come over and clap up the wall, and like Dagger Dan had to try to drag players over there and beg them to come. It's like you have to support your support.
Yeah, there was a good amount of discourse on Twitter, as there always is, about after a shit performance, I don't want to be clapped. Like from the stands, people were saying, I don't want to be clapping these guys because they just sold the game in the last 3 minutes. At the end of the day, the guys that do come over there and clap the supporters, those are the guys that care, and those are the guys that you should be clapping back. The other guys, it's their prerogative, but support the guys that also support us. Don't disrespect them, per se.
It's like recognition for being there with them for the 90 minutes. Like the bare minimum that they can do is to acknowledge the guys on the wall.
Mm-hmm. I understand like the emotions that you can be going through as an athlete on that pitch, and you lose all 3 points in a matter of 2.5, 3 minutes, whatever little period of time those 2 goals are scored in. But at the same time, the wall is going through those emotions with you. So those are the people that you can go to, you can clap, you can go, you can hug them. Like those are the people, and the rest of the stadium are the people that are there to support you, watch the game, and push you through those 90 minutes. So if there's a time where you can go connect with those people, it's right after the match because they're feeling almost the exact same thing that you are. And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think the last thing that we can say on the like supporters and stuff like that before we go into like actually the match and some stuff that happened there. You saw Zach's post because you were the one that did it at the Match Explora Stadium, and you saw the vibes and the atmosphere in the stadium. If you watched, I hope the front office, we know you watch these types of things, maybe not us, but these podcasts, you guys do that stuff. We know that. You made the wrong decision. Hopefully you saw it on Saturday because we're one of the only ones that'll talk about it. But free Laura, what you did was wrong.
I wholeheartedly agree that it was wrong. The whole situation just seems incorrect. If there's one person that would never do this, it would be Laura. And I think the support grew. The amount of people that ended up back out in that parking lot during the match just got bigger. It started out with 7 to 9 of us, and then by the time that me and Dave had to leave, we were probably up to a good 15 to 20. So it maybe more than doubled just in the time that we were out there. And I think once more of the word of this situation gets out, that number will grow. And I hope the support for Laura and basically anyone else that has been done wrong by the club, which is practically all of us having to sit and watch this shit show the whole season, continues to grow, because eventually once enough people make a ruckus about it, no pun intended, they will notice, and then I think they will have to make a change.
Deeds done in the dark always find their way to the light. Make the situation right before you make a fool out of yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Kind of too late for that. The fool has been made.
Fool has been made, but it can get a lot worse for you. Anyway, we won't touch more on that topic. I'm sure everybody else will have their 2 cents. The ILF has already posted their statement, so there's that. You can look there if you need more information on that. Something I want to talk about though, David Brecolo. What are we gonna do, boys?
What's going on? What's the decision, or not the decision here, but what's the outcome of what happened?
Haven't heard anything since the match, but he did take that challenge. It looks like he got clipped on the ankle and then was lipping around on the field for a good 10, 15 minutes. I figured he was going to try to go to the half, but couldn't make it to half, so we ended up having to use that sub early. Just hope it's not the groin or the hamstring. Which one was it that he was recovering from?
I want to say groin. Could be wrong.
So, you move your body quick or tweak yourself in a spot. You can definitely re-agitate an injury if you're on the recovery. And the groin's a weird one, man. It could happen. You can recover quick, or it could take months. So, hopefully it wasn't that. Hopefully it's just he rolled his ankle and couldn't keep up with the speed of the game, so he decided to call for that sub.
I was going to say, from my angle, when he went down, I could have sworn it looked like he had a knee problem. Maybe I just didn't have a good enough angle or whatnot, but I mean, that's, again, not what you want to see from everyone's preferred first choice right center back right now. Not in this time, not with the run of form that we have, not with the backup that we have right now either.
Yeah. This situation puts us right back to where we were last season, and we had to rely on Rodrigo to then go 8 games in good enough form. And then we saw what happened at the end. So we don't want to be putting ourselves back in that situation. But here we are. You bought something, or you bought someone that is coming off of an injury. He hasn't been able to play as much as we would like him to. And here he is limping off the pitch again. Right now, it is tough to say that we wasted money on him. But if this man can't stay healthy, then really, what did we spend the money on? I think he's a fantastic player. Could be great for us. But what do you say all the time?
Player's best quality is availability.
There you go. That's
yep.
It's just what it is. No hate towards the guy. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. It's far too early to say that he's a waste of money. But it is fair to start asking the questions of, is this guy going to be injury prone? Are we going to have to contend with this his entire career here? Because he hasn't been available. And, Dave's favorite saying, like he just said, it's your best quality is availability,
How much did we spend on him?
Oof, I do not remember. 3 mil?
It was somewhere in that 3 mil range.
Things like
3.3.
Whatever the price is, like, I really don't want to spend $2 to $3 million on someone to sit the bench and then have the guy that I don't want to see start week in, week out. Like, to me, that's just frustrating, because when we signed Brecolo, there was a little hope in me that said maybe we won't have to see Rodrigo as much. Maybe we don't have to see some of those mistakes that he always has. But here we are, 2 to 3 months in the season already, and we're same spot we're always in.
It's a very tough situation. I hate that I have to hate on Rodrigo so much, but we just see so many mistakes from him that you just don't want to see him come out onto that pitch. And when he does, something's going to happen. Brecolo's market value, and then his market value is 3.5 million euros when he came over here. The fee, according to Transfermarkt, was 2.6 million euros. So yes, somewhere right in that $3 million range.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, like, the mistakes from Rodrigo, as much as we get on him, they are going to happen. Like, it's not a if they happen, it's a when they happen. And thankfully, we haven't seen too many mistakes, but they are coming.
And that kind of leads us into the game, unless we got another little talking point that we want to do before that. But it's hard not to want to start with the 2 goals after coming off a conversation about Rodrigo. But we're going to start from the beginning, actually go through in order. The first half seemingly was a lot better than the second half. We got the goal in the first half, a Robin to Facundo to Duncan. Between the 3 of them, technically, it was 3 touches and the ball was in the back of the net. So it shows you how simple football can be. But we just can't seem to replicate that over time.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? 2 goal involvements in 2 matches for Facundo. So, maybe sometimes the charity pen is all you need to get it going. So it was good. It was a smart play. Play the ball early. It was a great ball into the box. I mean, and then Duncan McGuire, if there's anybody that you want in those situations, it's him.
Mm-hmm. It's still crazy to say that, and you have Luis Muriel sitting on the bench.
Yeah, well, I don't think I ever would have rated Luis Muriel to be the guy making that back post run on an early ball in the box.
But it is, just the European pedigree and saying that we'd rather have Duncan McGuire, this MLS draft product who has been fantastic, trying to finish a chance over European pedigree Champions League player Luis Muriel.
Holland of the Heartland, baby.
At this point, Man City sign him up. Holland send him back to
Orlando City.
We got a Holland Muriel duo.
I mean, we need something here because goals ain't coming from Facundo. They're not coming from Angulo.
I mean, low key, it would be a perfect match because we are hope and pray FC over here. So literally just tell Holland to stand in the box while we whip in 150 crosses all match,
I was going to say, you want to talk about Facundo, Pedro, and Robin? Fuck it, he's down there somewhere. Fuck it, Holland's down there somewhere.
Yeah. There was a couple chances. I know Bernardeschi had a good chance. I can't remember if that was beginning of the second half.
Oh yeah, that was.
No, I think that was in the first half. He pulled it just wide.
Mm-hmm.
Just wide.
He almost had that left foot. Like, I've never seen a ball pinged with such pace on the ground and have that much curl. It was almost the what happens? What's the word when you go into a trance?
Mesmerizing.
It was almost mesmerizing to watch, just with the curl and the pace that he had on that. If it would have found the corner, you just kind of play. Yeah, you put your hands up and say fair play. Luckily, didn't find the back of the net. Second half, Duncan said it best. Why are we sitting back and not trying to make them feel like it's not their day and capitalizing on a 1-goal lead that we have? Been known on Twitter, been known just throughout Orlando City spaces since this match. The second half was a lot worse. We saw that with the 2 goals at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you how this is going to be spun. We were playing a top 5 team in the East. I believe they're 4th in the East now. So Toronto's a good team. They're not that bad of a team. We kept them scoreless for 80 minutes. 2 mistakes cost us the game. Like, I could tell you, like, that's how it's going to be spun. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing that we see over and over again. We can't seem to stay on top in the front runner position and continue to grow our lead. And it's just park the bus every fucking time.
No, just go ahead.
So it's the Poppy special, the Poppy classic. But again, like there's really no excuse, right? Yeah, Toronto could be a top 5 team, whatever it may be. But again, this is a Orlando City team that is 1 year removed from finishing second in the Supporter Shield behind Cincinnati with almost the identical 11 that we did last year. Right? We are down Mo, we're down Antonio Carlos. We swapped them in. Or no, Rodrigo started most of the season last year. So you could argue just Mo removed, it's the identical 11. Right? There's no reason why we should have that much of a drop off.
No, I'm looking at the stats here on FootMob, and I'm splitting it between the first half and the second half. First half, we obviously had more XG. The one Duncan chance created 0.76 of our 0.80. We had technically 8 points more in possession, more passes, and then one less shot. But all their shots were kind of meh, just on the fringes of the box. And then we get to the second half. We had 6 shots to their, dear Lord. Sorry, yeah, we had 6 shots to their 10. They had 59% possession, so 18 points more possession, 1.49 XG to our 0.28, 229 passes to our 144. So we're just looking at a tactical drop off and showing that we could compete with one of the best teams in the East. But then second half, we just want to sit back and try to hold on to a lead. And as we say all the time, the Poppy specials can't always work. 87th minute rolls around, and the center back that has been on the pitch for David Brekalo coming off injured is Rodrigo Schlegel, and we get the mistakes that we are used to. Is it harsh to pin it on him fully? Yeah, maybe. But you have to be aware of your space, who is there, and where you are on the pitch, or else stuff like this is just going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's another defensive mistake on their equalizing goal. I mean, it's like we were talking about it before, it just seems like a lack of communication from the boys. I mean, yes, we were outnumbered in the box centrally there, but at the same time, you see Wilder not track back. You see Schlegel not check his shoulder and see that he has a man on right there. You see Dagerdan kind of loafing near the back post, not really tracking his man and making sure he stays there in competition. And, it just finds a free man in the box.
It's just disappointing. I think we're at the point where we can't say that we're mad. We're just disappointed. I can't remember if you said it before we started recording or it was during recording. It's like you can't celebrate our goals. Like the emotion is gone because if you go up 1-0, then this will most likely happen. There's a chance that we still lose this match, and it's the same way that I feel. You celebrate and then you're just let down. So it's like, why get your emotions up? Why hope? It's the hope that kills you, and then just be let down at the end of every day.
Yeah, notoriously can't finish games. It's been a problem for a couple of years at this point. So it's really evident in the beginning of this season.
Yeah, it's eerily similar to when I watch United this season, and I don't mean that in a good way. Right, United go up 2-3-0. We surrender that lead. We end up drawing or losing, and right now it feels the same with Orlando City.
Coventry should have won.
Okay, we're not talking about that. I'm just talking about in general. Right, it feels like we can never have enough and feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. It's very unfortunate to have to feel this way about your club. And then worst comes to worst, they got the equalizer in the 87th, 90th minute rolls around. Federico Bernardeschi just puts Kyle Smith in a spin cycle. I think that there's a good amount of quality difference there between those two players. You got one that was playing at Juve for a long time, and then Kyle Smith, who came over here from Louisville City, D3. That's a bit rude, but yes.
No, I think that was like an actual thing.
Yeah.
Remember where I was checking the
Yeah, that's why I said
profile.
yes. Yeah. So that quality difference is a good thing for Toronto, not for us. Gets spun, chips the ball back post. Dave said it was similar to Jack Lynn's first career MLS goal. Header straight into the ground, and it finds the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, you got to expect Robin to do better there. Or not Robin, I'm sorry, Pedro to do better there.
Honestly, I think Robin, I'd rather him actually stick his foot out and concede a corner. I think he was trying to get away with not conceding a corner. But I'm sorry. I'd take throwing all 11 of our players back in the box and taking that chance instead of a little dink across the 6.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He does have to do better there. I don't know. Maybe he was trying not to win a corner there, or maybe he just mistimed it and wasn't. But he does have to do better there, and then Pedro has to do better back post. I mean, like, I understand he did try to make himself big there and do the right things, but I mean, you're talking about inches of space that you can't. You have to own your space.
The thing is, like, I said it earlier, like, Pedro definitely can do better, but, like, thinking about it, there are 7 people that we could probably pin some blame on, right? You've got Caesar Wilder not tracking back, marking the extra runners.
It was a pretty quick counter from what it seemed. So I'm not.
If I can watch it back, I could make a better judgment, but I mean, still, right? You're drawing 1-1, you're on the counter, you're vulnerable with Rodrigo back there. There's an extra runner in the box. Someone is not going to mark him. Right? Rodrigo's in La La Land. Dan's just shorter than Prince, who wins the header in the back. Kyle gets spun. Pedro can do better. Robin can block the cross in.
Yeah, Dagger Dan tracking back, and he tracks his man all the way back, but his man basically runs right into Rodrigo Schlegel, and Prince is sitting back post wide open. So I said this before we started. Dagger Dan has to be yelling at Rodrigo saying, there's a man on your back. He was running into your space. Be aware that he's there. Put your hands out. Check your shoulder really quick. See where he is. And then mark him while Dagger Dan goes to get the free guy back post. Because Rodrigo realistically is in the right space to defend that. But your right back has to be able to get back to the back post and not also run right into Rodrigo. Because you see Dagger Dan then scamper to try to go mark Prince because he knows he's there. So yell at Rodrigo as much as you want to let him know that that guy is running in, and then you go get the man back post because there's no one on him right now. That's what confused me, because why are you running right into your other defender space?
Yeah, it's communication again on the second goal. I mean, we prided ourselves last year on being a strong defense and conceding some of the fewest goals in the league. But we just get caught out on counter opportunities this year. If Robin doesn't stop somebody from making that first pass or getting away, we're cooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks that, again, Brekalo hasn't been able to play as many minutes as we would have liked him to. It could boil down to Rodrigo playing more than we would have liked him to, but you do have to be able to defend better on the counter. Yes.
I'd like to apologize. I was thinking of the first goal, I think, with Wilder and Caesar not tracking back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that was just the first goal. So yeah, the first goal could be partially on them. Not really. Would you like to see them defend a little bit more? Yes, but the second one purely was just basically the back line collapsing on defending a counter.
Collapsing and defending a counter and class and levels being shown. I mean, the disparity on any given MLS roster is ridiculous because of our roster restrictions and our rules and stuff like that. Like, we have Luis Muriel on the same team as Tahir Reed-Brown.
Youngster, but yeah, your point is valid.
You know what I mean? Like, we got kids making teacher salaries and somebody that was playing in the Champions League on the same roster.
Mm-hmm. There was a tweet, I think it was actually about Fort Lauderdale, but there's two guys that came off the bench for them, made appearances, and they are each making $1,000 a week. And then Messi is making how much? Like, he owns Adidas, he owns Apple, he owns that club,
he owns the MLS.
Yeah, and then there's guys coming off the bench a week. Probably, yeah. Every single match that he plays, he gains 0.25% of the MLS ownership wise.
He's on that Neymar contract. He says Apple TV gets $500K. He posts a picture of the pink. He gets $250K.
Didn't he post a picture of or like when he visited Saudi and they paid him just to post that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At this point, you might just get a revenue of Apple.
I think he does. I think it's
Apple or Apple TV.
Apple TV. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, just being a part of Apple. I mean, that contract's ridiculous. And then like getting a franchise one day too, like
Mhm.
Good luck.
insanity.
Yeah, this is the David Beckham contract on steroids.
Then we're really screwed.
Let's live in the moment where we're just screwed right now.
We're screwed either way. So we can either be screwed in the future or we can wallow in our pity right now.
We got to do both.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, back to the boys in purple. I mean, I don't feel like there's really much more to say about that match. It's the same thing over and over again. The streets were very loud with the Oscar out, the Poppy out. This team just needs to be better. I think people are starting to realize like it's not changing. We're not seeing any improvement.
You want to know why?
Huh.
Because this team hasn't gelled yet.
Mm,
Just give it.
you're right.
Give it till like October, November
Of
all
next
right,
year, right? 2025.
2027.
Oh, all right.
Give us 3 years, okay? Give us 3.5 years. Wait till October, November of 2027, and then this team will be what it should have been a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I think I put this out on Twitter just on my own personal account. I do not understand what is wrong with having championship intentions. If you want your club to do well, you can have your opinion. Everybody can have that in a different way, but certain people demanding better, wanting better, it might have to come with somebody losing their job. Personally, I would hate to see someone lose their job. It sucks. I've seen it happen, but in this sport, Oscar can find another job. He will be fine. He has a good amount of money. He's chilling, right? The man knew El Chapo, or he's fine. But for the club itself, I just can't wrap my mind around being criticized for wanting better. It doesn't compute in my mind. Growing up as an athlete, both of you the same way. Why do you not want to demand the best and compete for championships every single year? Why do we have to wait for the team to gel till 2027?
Well, unfortunately, the bottom line with American sports is that American sports is the only area where you can finish 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and somehow become the champions of that sport. You can't do it in any other, but you have to be the best for however many weeks, for however many months, everywhere else. But only in America can you finish 7th, 8th, win a little best of 7 series at the end of the season, and be crowned the best team for that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it also kind of comes down to the misinterpretation of the criticism, where when you start saying that, things need to change, people need to go, we need to be better, that doesn't mean by any stretch of it the word that we hate the player, we hate the manager, we hate the front office, we hate them as people. Like, I'm sure they're all great people, and their intentions are probably there, but at the end of the day, like, you have to have results, and if you can't perform at your job, you get replaced. It's just the line of any business.
Yeah, it really is. We demand the best from our refs, right? Pro referees have gotten shit for so many years. Now, barring the whole situation for the first 5 games this season, whatever it was, we have always said that pro refs are shit and you want to replace them. Everybody throughout the MLS agrees with that. So why is saying you want to replace the referees because they're not good enough? Why is that allowed? But then when your own club is doing shit, why are you not allowed to say this isn't good enough? We should try to find someone else to then do better.
Crazy.
Doesn't make sense.
You're a madman,
No.
Zachary.
It does not compute.
Makes me angry.
See, the thing is, like, I don't want to just push for the playoffs. I don't want to push to win. I want to be number one. I want to be the best.
And we're not, as of right now, we're not going to be able to do that because we tend to start every season 9 points in 9 games. That's no top team is going to sit at, I think the top of the East is 18 points right now. No top team is going to allow you to close that gap throughout the whole season.
No.
One might slow down a little bit, and then you can catch up, and we saw ourselves get back to second. But you're not going to win the East. You're not going to win the Supporters' Shield starting every single season like this.
No. I mean, the thing is, if you don't finish first, the only way to win is to be better, right? Arsenal finishing second last year. If they want to finish first, they have to be better, right? So far this season, Orlando City, we have only gotten worse, right? There's a reason why we, as Orlando City fans right now, are, saying these things like Poppy out, start him, don't start him, right? We have to be better. That level's not being reached. Something has to change.
Yeah, I mean, and you were kind of talking about like the American sports thing earlier and the playoffs and all that stuff. But like, think about the NFL. Think about your NFL teams. Like, if you were to not win 5 out of your first 6 games,
yeah,
like everybody's getting fired. Everybody.
You start the season 1-5, the world's exploding within your own.
Like
that's just a regular.
You're already thinking about the draft the next year. You're already thinking about the draft for the next year, the rebuild, like all that stuff.
Wow. Thanks for hopping in the mind of Dave for a second.
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So it shouldn't just be an MLS thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just across all sports. Like, the Pittsburgh Steelers made the playoffs last year, and 4 people lost their jobs because they weren't good enough.
Your offense was historically bad, so.
Well, he lost his job in the middle of the year.
Oh, as he should have. As of right now, just statistically, you can see it, but there is truly no metric to say we're playing terrible football. You just have to be able to see it. Like, you have to watch it. It's the eye test. Are you playing like shit, or are you actually playing exciting, good football that will win you matches? And right now, for the past year and a half, really, we've played shit football. It is no longer enjoyable. It's not getting us the results that we need to contend for the championships. So for me, it should just be basic in seeing that Oscar, as of right now, and in the future and in the past, is not the manager to take us forward. But you say that, and then you're put on death row practically.
Statistics. There are 5 teams in the MLS out of 29 that have conceded more goals in Orlando City this season.
So we are 6th in goals conceded?
Yes. Well, tied for 6th. There's a few at 17.
Nice.
I was going to say, the statistic that'll tell you right here that we're inept and inefficient is our XG on the year being ranked 16th in the league. And 22nd in shots on target per match. So that right there, if you want statistics to say that we are playing ridiculously bad football, it's those right there.
Another one
at the table.
Another one at the table. 6 teams out of 26 or 29, from the MLS have scored less goals in Orlando City right now. Not great metrics.
Shout out.
Go ahead.
No, I just said shout out.
Oh, I heard. Between the both of you, I thought both of you were going to say the metric that shows that we're playing shit football is that we're 13th out of 15th in the East on 9 points after 9 games. And that's as close as you can get to showing, hey, we're playing like ass. So,
yep.
But don't worry. Wait till the dog days of August come around.
Maybe that's what it is. We just get the summertime sadness out now, so we don't have to worry about it later. But there should just not be a period in which we are okay. We're content with going 2, 3, and 4.
Thing is, the best teams in each sport, they don't go 2 to 3 months of losing, occasional ties. Oh, we won a game, losing, like that just doesn't happen.
Especially just being this shit at home.
And like, why do we expect it to be different for us?
Because you got to be patient, and you gotta. I'm trying. I'm at the point where I'm having a hard time even trying to put myself in that
Champions aren't
mindset.
patient. They take it to everyone else. They want to
Mhm.
win. They win. They find a way to win.
But no,
We're not
let's
that right now.
let's let everyone else get a head start, and then show them that we can make a comeback and finish third. Fuck off.
All I've ever asked of this team since we've started doing the podcast is for us just to like assert ourselves in one game and actually just like dominate the game from first whistle to last. And we don't do that here. We don't care to dominate football matches. We kind of just go with the flow.
I think there is a handful or less of those matches, maybe. But the one that popped into my head was the Red Bulls 5-1 Open Cup semifinal. But I think we conceded very early in that. So technically, it wasn't the whole match, but that's about as close as you're going to get to then dominating the rest of the match, just scoring 5 straight and then keeping that scoreline 5-1.
And that's also going on 2 years ago now. So
there might have been 1 or 2 in between. There was like a 2-0 or 3-0 win that was dominant. I'm just not going to be able to remember that off the top of my head.
That's I'll say that's a bit, I don't know the word for it, like rude, because towards the end of the season, I feel like we dominated a lot of games. They might not have been the score line like 5-1, 4-0, but like I feel like we put in.
we didn't dominate entire games.
We
didn't
dominated
dominate
most
entire
of the
games.
games. Most games.
Yeah, but we would still see ourselves slip. You know what I mean? And that's the frustrating thing is like even at our best, we couldn't stay on top of teams consistently. Like it's okay to slip up every once in a while and have those games where you kind of fall off and you don't finish them out as well as you want. But to consistently not be able to finish out games and impose yourself throughout the full 90, like that's frustrating to me.
Just scrolling through FootMob and looking at stats, there was a 3-0 win against Montreal last year where we had 57% possession, basically 2.0 flat more XG. So I think there might have been one in there. We had almost 160 more passes than them. So I'm just scrolling through really quick. There's your one since the Red Bulls match.
I was just being sarcastic, but
oh no, I was just trying to find one for myself too.
I mean, we could talk ourselves in circles over this. You know what I mean? Like it's the same conversation over and over again until something changes. It's gonna be the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, then at this point, there's no point in carrying on waffling about the same conversation. So unless you guys got some final points, then we got to do. We've been very inconsistent with bottom 2, top 1, and whatnot. So if we want to get that knocked out of the park, no MLB reference. Definitely not watching the Rays game right now. We can go ahead and do that.
top 1, Duncan McGuire.
Yeah. Yeah. I was maybe Facundo, but
he's a shout, but it's
he
Duncan.
recorded his 5th or 6th shot on target this season, so it would be a shout.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, shot on target. Yeah, fair enough. 73rd minute. Oh, that's right. That was a decent save from Johnson. No, I can't give that man credit. That was a shit save. You should be making that every day of the week. Yes. Yeah. Are we all on Duncan then?
Yeah, I would say Duncan.
All right. So everybody's got a top 1 of Duncan, bottom 2.
I'm just gonna go the entire back line.
So bottom 4, bottom 5, including Pedro.
Bottom 5, 6, including Kyle Smith.
I'm gonna one up you and say everyone else. Everyone.
All right. Technically, then you technically cover my guy. You didn't. I'm going Oscar. If your player and your basically star player at this point in Duncan in the press conference is saying, yeah, I feel like we should have just dominated the game and not just sat back and let them do what they did. I think you got problems. What music you got playing in the background over there?
Paige just finished a game.
Nice.
Hold on. It also sounds to me like Duncan's a winner.
Duncan wants to win. That's what a crazy mentality to have.
Duncan, you and me are on
Wow.
the same page right now. So if you need a center back, may not be great, but
yeah. Yeah. Well, then technically I got one more. I'm going. Is it a cop out to give it to Rodrigo?
Yeah, kind of because he was our highest rated defender.
No,
Mob with a yellow.
6. Rafael Santos tied him with a 6-8.
Yeah, but with no yellow, so.
Okay, then I'm kicking him in while he's down. I'm giving it to Brickolo. Stay healthy, please. That's it. I don't even hate you. I just want you healthy.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, there's your match review / waffle merchant time from us. Don't productive waffle. And then we got to go play one of the best teams in the league in 5 days time in Cincinnati.
Yep.
So I'd say we're looking forward to that, but I'd think I'd be lying, to be honest.
I mean, I hope we can get out there.
Yeah.
I believe that we might draw.
There you go. I'll take the team total over 1.5 for Cincinnati in that game. All right. You want to wrap it up, Cannata?
Well, we appreciate you all from watching. Check out the description to see all the links to all our socials. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already and you keep coming back, then you might as well just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Stay tuned to all our socials for our live stream schedule and all kinds of other posts that we got out there. And yeah, we'll see you all on the next one.
Good night.
Good morning.